Hello everyone. So this is the next video in the series about unit testing in Java. This video we are going to talk about parameterized test. So this annotation helps in consolidating the many test cases into one, right? So if you are writing many test cases which has different sample data and different expected data, we can combine those many test cases into single test case using at parameterized annotation, right? So let's see how we can do this. So this is our calculator at test cases here. So there are many test cases written here, so let me create one more file here to demo the parameterized one, right? So here I am going to write the first void test case one, so name it one. And here first annotation, instead of at the rate test, I have to use parameterized test here because we are going to write the parameterized test here. First we first annotation along with this parameterized annotation is value source. Inside this I can pass strings, right? So this will take array of strings, right? So if I want to pass abc, as many strings, these are, for example, these are not related to calculator, but I wanted to show the example how it works, right? So these are the as many strings that I am going to pass here. This is the array, right? And to catch these strings, I have to pass here one parameter here, right? So one arg. The limitation of this is only we can pass a single array, right? So and out of that I can extract only one input data, right? So with it will be only one data, right? So it will be helpful when your method that you are putting under test is returning a boolean value, right? If your method that you're putting under test is expecting a single input and it is returning always a boolean value, only then we can make use of this one, right? So these are very specific to case that we can make use of this, but it is going to help a lot, right? Because we have this scenarios many times, right? So we are writing a method which is returning a boolean, a flag kind of thing with based on single parameter, right? So whether we are passing age to some method and we want to just return true or false, whether it is applicable, whether it is that person is allowed to do something or not, so in those cases, right? So for this I can pass assert true and false, right? And inside that inside that I have to, so for example these are strings, right? So I can write, so args dot, not args but arg, that is empty, right? So I can check the parameters that I am passing, they are empty or not, right? So they are not empty, so I am passing here it not, right? So the condition should be true under this when we are passing it assert true. So in this example, I just want to check whether these strings that we are passing are empty or not. That's it, right? So let's run this one and see how it is working. So in actual scenario, we are writing three test cases here into a single test case. First is taking ABC, then DEFC, then XYZ, right? So let's see this. Our test is executing. Is all right. So it has executed us for us three test cases, right? DFC, XYZ, and all this, right? So let me pass one thing for which it is failing, just empty string, right? So this is the fourth test case that I am adding under this one. Yes, all right. So it failed the fourth one, right? So it is the empty, that is why we are not seeing here anything, right? So it is empty. So instead of, there is one more option here, instead of giving empty here, I can pass empty source. There is one more annotation, fancy annotation it is, so you do not have to actually pass this one. So if you pass this empty source, it is a single sample data for our test cases, right? So if I run this one, that empty test case will be executed for us. Yes, it is coming here, right? So as in the same way that we have empty source, we also have null source, right? we can pass. So one case for the null will be considered here, right? So if I run this again, there will be null pointer exception because arg is empty is passing here, right? There is no failure but null pointer exception. Yes, it is giving me null pointer exception, right? And if I want to, I want both the test sample data. I do not want to use both of this. I can use null and empty source, right? So both of these are combined into this null and empty source. Run this again. Same case we found here as one null and one empty, right? So this is just for example that I wanted to show you. And in the same way that we are passing a string here, we can pass the numbers also, right? So just copy it here. So we are just want to pass, so comment it out so that the test cases are passing. I just wanted to show you the demo. Test case 2 and remove these one here and pass ends here, right? So if you come to this annotation, they have shorts, bytes, ends, long. So anything that you want to pass, even they should have objects also, right? So control F. No, it is applicable only for the primitive types that are there, right? So there should be information about this one. Supported types include short, bytes, ints. Classes are also there, we can pass those. That only have supported types may be specified at the value source, right? So you can get the information how many types are supported here. So second example that I'm going to show you is about ints, right? So I can pass the ints integer here. So 1 2 3 4 5, these one, right? And 6, I can pass it here, right? And then I can give it int, and here I can now reverse the condition here, arg greater than 0. So all the numbers that I'm passing are greater than or 0 or not, right? So I can use this one. So I have to use parameterized test. So this value source is going to work along with the parameterized test, right? So this has to be keep in mind. This one is also working properly. So this is about the sample one. So let's take the example of a calculator and show this one right there, right? So in calculator I have to write one method, just dummy method I'm going to write it there. Is greater than, it is if it is very large, right? So if I want to say if it is 100,000, right, and then I want to return false, otherwise return true. So this is just a dummy method that I just wanted to show you public. So the what it is doing, it is taking a number. If a number is greater than some threshold, it is returning false, otherwise it is returning true, right? So write the test for this one, right? So I have to have the calculator, I have to have the calculator instance here, calc new calculator, right? So I want this instance only for this test case. No, just keep it here, no problem. So I will be using this calculator and passing the it's sum allowed arg, right? So it is going to check whether some of these are allowed or not, right? So if it is greater than some number, only then it is going to return false, otherwise it is going to return true, right? So it should pass now for our cases, right? So it is returning a true. So this is the actual example that I'm showing you, the demo, right? All right, so this is working properly, right? So these are the value source. This is the one way that you can do it, right? And the value source, that information you are passing here, you can use a method also, right, to pass this one. So let me show you that also. But here the annotation is going to change. So we have method source for that, right? Then it is going to take a method here, right? So int range I'm giving here, change the name here id, and rest of the things are going to same, right? Now I have to define this int range method here, right? And what will be the return type of this one? I'll keep it in the stream here, right? And keeping it here, return int stream dot range I want 10 to 40, right? So this one, this simple range I want 10 to 40, and now we have 10 to 40 means almost 30 test cases for this one, right? This one by this method, right? So instead of hard coding this one that we were using in value source here, now we can avoid that using this one. So this also has to be static to be taken by this one. So if I run this test case, yes, we will be getting the for almost 30 test cases running with these simple few lines, right? So the main purpose is, yeah, so 30 test cases have been created for this one, right? So this you can see with the simple, with the few line of codes, how many test cases we can execute, how many edge cases we can cover, right? So this is the main example of the, this is the main benefit of the parameterized test cases, right? Now coming to this was there to take when you have the requirement of the only single input data, right? And what if we have the multiple input data? So let's see that example also, right? So let me copy this test case again and put here test case code, and now we have one more annotation. Parameterized test is going to be there all the time. Now we have CSV source, right? And here I can pass source annotation to pass the values. These will be also the array of strings which we can then later on evaluate. So for example, I want to test the calculator sum here, actual test case that we were writing here, right? So first input I want to pass the number 1 and second input, and third I want to pass the expected result, right? And same thing I have to pass here to determine that one, int num1 and int num2 and int expected, right? So this is going to be fun, right? So 1 2 3, and this has to be comma separated, and this here also, right? So change the values here. So what value we will get? So I'm taking these examples, right? So by passing these comma separated values, I'm going to execute 4 test cases, right? 4 test cases by these lines, right? So writing the assertion, assert equals, now make it more readable, import static, yes. So what we are doing, we are first parameter is expected, and then second one is the calculator dot add and one n2, right? So this I want to pass. Assert equals is here, so not num1 and num2, these are the numbers, right? So that's it, we are done. So main important thing to note here, this is a CSV source and how to pass the expected data and sample data and how to compare those. So in the same, if you remember the previous videos, the simple test cases that we were writing, so the actual code that we were writing in the each test case was the same line, right? So assert equal expected and this one, so there was difference in the sample data and expected data. So those things have been extracted out here and put in the parameterized form, right? So this, by executing this, I am going to write I'm going to execute the 4 test cases out of these lines, right? So it is outside package, right? So there is some problem in the import one, so remove this one, put the all unused packages here, right? So execute this again. Yes, we are passing, we are doing all the test cases here, right? You can see how easy you can do that with the CSV source. Now we can extract these inputs and pass it to a file, right? So that's also more fun. Let's do that also. Parameterize test here, and I'm going to pass here, and here instead of doing this thing, I can CSV file source. This annotation is there, right? So I have to give the name of the file here, CSV. So it is showing some error here. Num line to skip 1, right? So this will, so this I have to pass here name of the resources. So this is the name of the resource, num line to skip, and here it is saying, so here I have to name the change this one, so because it is already defined, right? So the same way as we did earlier, the CSV source here, it is going to work in the same way. The only difference is we are just extracting out these data that are here into a CSV file, right? So let's go ahead and create this CSV. So this file should be in the class path always. So this file has to be in the class path. So I am going to create this in the resources section here, and I have to copy this data from here and paste it here. Format it a bit, right? So I do not need these now, and I do not need these as well, right? And first line we can write anything, so it is a some kind of table, so so that I can it is easy to read. I can pass the some detail about this header information that is there, just to read it out, right? So here in the CSV file source, I have asked it to number of lines to skip. So in this file, it is going to read this file, it is going to skip the first line that is there. So whatever you write in the first line, it is going to be skipped, and other thing is going to read by the library in the same way that happened in the CSV source, right? So if I run this again, it should work properly as earlier, right? So I hope it is easy to relate with the previous ones that we have written and how easy it is now, right? So there is some problem here. Precondition violation exception is coming here. Class path resource sample data CSV does not exist. It is saying that it is not there. So I think there is problem here. I have to give the relative path here. So just try it again. So this is the format in which way it is reading. Yes, now it is correct, right? So it worked in the same way that as earlier, right? So all the test cases are passing, right, with this simple line. So one by one we are reducing number of lines from our test files, right? So now if I show you this calculator add test, you can reduce how many number of lines using this parameterized demo, right? So these are the few examples that I have shown you, and I think that are sufficient to write the simple unit test cases and take advantage of this. But there are other versions of the parameterized test. There are many more. You can modify the display name, how it is appearing, and all those steps. They are all available on the official documentation page. That is right here, right? So you can go ahead and check out more information about this. There is a lot information about here in parameterized unit test, right? So this is all that I wanted to show you about the parameterized testing. I'll see you in the next video with the next topic in the JUnit series. So till then, take care, bye bye, stay home, stay safe.